Here's Rebecca from YogaBee. Today I'd like to talk to you about the transition from Chaturanga Danasana to upward facing dog. If you practice Ashtanga yoga, you know this transition happens frequently. In the primary series alone, we'll end up doing it over 30 times. But even if you don't practice Ashtanga yoga, this transition is an important part of mini vinyasa or flow type classes. And since we do it so often, it's really good to get it right. So let's have a look. Let me show you what I often see as a teacher, and then I'll show you what I'd like to see instead. So sometimes when people come to class, the transition, the Chaturanga will come all the way to the floor, they collapse, and then they'll push up here, even leaving the toes where they are, opening into something of an upward facing dog. Instead, what I'd like to see is that the hips and the heart move forward, that the toes stay in one spot, the whole body moves forward, and the spine gets elongated more equally. I'll show you how it looks. So keeping the toes where they are, your Chaturanga will stay floating in the air. And then from here, on your inhale, you'll roll over the toes, bringing the hips and heart forward, and then you can get a micro bend in the elbow to further open the front of the body. As you exhale, the hips will lift up for downward facing dog. So in order to do a transition like that, there's a couple things that are important. The first is the arms, the position of the arms. So if you do with me like this, imagine your hands are on the ground and you're in the plank position. And then when you bend the elbows, you want to bend the elbows right to the body. So you're not bending with the elbows out like chicken wings. Bend like you're Charlie Chaplin. So you're bending the elbows right into the body. And from the side, it will look like this. If you've got your elbows back behind the body, then you've gone too far. Just a year, you could even bend less if you're still working on gaining control. Second key point is the Uddiyana Bandha, the lower abdomen. If you don't engage your abs, your body is like a cooked noodle, and it's impossible for you to keep the strength that you need in order to do the Chaturanga Danasana. You need to keep engaged. Sometimes when you're first beginning, it's difficult to do with the legs extended because you just don't have the strength in the abdomens yet. You can bring your knees to the ground and do baby Chaturanga Danasana. The last point that's really helpful is to keep the legs active. So if you do the full Chaturanga with the legs extended, you can imagine your heels shooting out that way, the spine, the top of the head shooting this way, so the body is really long and tight, just like a raw noodle. So I'll show you one more time. From your plank position, you want to engage the lower abdomen, the shoulders just over the hands. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, Chaturanga, leaving the toes where they are. Inhale, rolling over the toes, upward facing dog. Exhale, hips lifting up like you have a tail for downward facing dog. Likewise, if you do the baby version, you'll be in your plank position. Inhale. Exhale, you just bring the knees right to the ground where they are. Chaturanga Danasana. Inhale, you still roll over the toes, bringing hips and heart forward. And exhale, you can still imagine that tail lifting you up and back. I hope it's helpful. It's been great seeing you. Have a great day, and I hope to see you again soon on the mat.